We are joined this week on Sports Seriously by a Super Bowl champ turned Twitter troll, exterminator, and podcaster. It's Chris Long. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Hey, how are you?
Good. It's been a little bit. I think a few Super Bowls ago we met, but how have you been? You've got stuff going on with Thursday Night Football now, right?
Yeah, well, things are great. So I'm like doing Amazon Prime stuff in that pregame show with Kay Adams and Daniel Jeremiah and Andrew Hawkins. So you can tune in on Prime Video. If you have Prime, you got Prime Video. And you know, it's a Thursday night preview show that highlights trends for the upcoming game and brings together compelling moments and stories from the prior week's games. I knew that when I retired, I did not want to do like a traditional pregame show necessarily. Like, I didn't want to put a suit on, travel to New York or LA. My dad did that for a long time, and that was a lot of travel. He still does it, and he loves it, but he's been there 20-something years. So for me, having an opportunity to do a show that puts a little bit a different take on, you know, breaking down a game pregame. I love the show. I love my co-hosts and the people that I work with and producers and Jason and all those guys. And I love the guys at Amazon too. They've been awesome to work with. So shout out to Lisa as well. So it's been a great crew.
Well, hey, on the field, I want to ask you rookie quarterbacks. So redrafting your rookie quarterbacks, how would you re-rank them after or starting from the season now? How would you have re-ranked the rookie quarterback? Well,
it's not a cop-out, but I think obviously everybody's going to say Mac Jones the best right now. But if Trevor Lawrence was in New England, what do you think? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think? I know his completion rating is so low. It's like 41% or something on Sunday, I think we talked about. And that was through like week 8 or 9. How does that happen? It can't be that he's that inaccurate. Like, they're asking too much of him, and the scheme is it's not conducive to him being successful. And on the other end of the spectrum, Mac Jones, who's a good player, they have not bitten off more than they can chew. They've moved this team along in New England, you know, at a responsible, sustainable rate, and they've moved him along at a responsible, sustainable rate. So, I mean, obviously, I think Trevor Lawrence has the highest ceiling. I still do believe that. And I would probably put Mac Jones right after him because if the guy in New York was really special, I think he'd look a little better than he has so far, even in a really inopportune situation. Now, that doesn't mean he's not gonna turn out to be great. I really like Justin Fields, so I'd probably put Justin Fields in that 2 or 3 range when it comes to upside. I think what he does with the football in his hands too, when plays break down, is so dangerous to defenses.
I can't remember a time when we've seen this much parody, and as an athlete or someone who used to play in the league, do athletes really like this kind of parody, knowing that you're kind of never really out of it, or does this stress you guys as much as it's like,
I love it. If I'm a player, because everybody in that top 10 team kind of, you know, area has a fighter's chance. And I think it's so rare in the NFL to have this. I mean, every year you look at it, you've had at least one team. And I think the Bucks having problems in the secondary, you know, the Chiefs having problems with their offense, and Patrick trying to, you know, adjust to the fact that things are a little more chaotic, and the defense being those couple teams alone having deficiencies swing the whole thing to being like a little bit more wide open at this point in the season. And it's fun. And the AFC, you're right, it's all bunched up. And I got to say, like, I think the Bills are also a team in the AFC that, although they haven't figured it out yet, when they do, are going to be really hard to beat. So,
hey, well, we'll hold you to it once it comes playoff time.
But I might change my mind. Here's the thing about these things. They change every month. People are like, you know, it's like, well, the teams change.
True. You're not wrong. Facts.
Freezing cold takes. I get the freezing cold takes treatment.
The freezing cold takes.
Yeah.
You're right. Hey, okay. Well, last question we have for you. And this is a very serious one. So in the last 30 years, here are the quarterbacks that have won a Super Bowl that either weren't a first-round pick or considered an entrenched franchise quarterback. So Nick Foles, Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson. You were on that Nick Foles team.
Yeah.
So can you win a title without an elite player at the quarterback position? Do you truly believe that?
I do. Oh, absolutely. I've seen it. But the team has to be evenly distributed. You can't have a lot of weaknesses. You have to have depth. I mean, if you look at like Trent Dilfer, what they had was an elite defense, historically elite. You had Brad Johnson, right? You mentioned Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson for a while and not take anything away from him, like he was a starting quarterback in the league. He had great years here and there, but people don't think of him as like some Hall of Fame guy. Their team was very evenly distributed. I mean, like, and you look at our Eagles team, we had multiple Hall of Famers get hurt and we're able to replace them. Obviously, you're not going to replace Jason Peters or Darren Sproles, but these are two guys that are not only veteran leaders, but great players on the field. You have to have that depth. You have to have that resiliency. Look at Mac Jones. Mac Jones is an elite quarterback. I mean, by the numbers he might be, but how many quarterbacks are you going to take before him in a draft? This team this year could make a run. I don't know if they can win the whole thing, but it's possible. And that's the way it goes. It's just you have to have a very evenly distributed team or a big strength on the other side of the ball.
Hey, sports fans, if you want to watch more sports seriously, be sure to check out these clips right here. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all the great content from us here at USA Today Sports.